What if I told you that just one simple meat, sitting quietly on a grocery store shelf, could begin shrinking your enlarged prostate in as little as 24 hours? Most men over 60 spend years believing they have no control over their prostate problems, accepting sleepless nights, weak urinary flow, and the humiliation of constantly searching for the nearest bathroom. But the truth is, you may not need another pill, another painful procedure, or another night ruined by exhaustion and fear, because the fastest path to relief may already be in your kitchen, and it works far quicker than anyone expects. I need you to imagine something. Standing in the dark at 3 in the morning, cold floor beneath your feet, waiting for a thin, hesitant stream of urine to finally begin, the pressure, the burning, the frustration, the desperate hope that this time it will be different, and then the disappointment when you're awake again 1 hour later doing the exact same thing night after night, month after month, slowly draining your energy, your confidence, your independence. No man deserves to live like that. Here is the paradox. Men believe they need stronger medication, but medications often only mask symptoms. The real problem is inflammation inside the prostate, and when you target that inflammation the right way, the gland begins to shrink rapidly. That is why this single meat, backed by clinical research, can bring noticeable relief within 24 hours, reducing nighttime urgency, improving flow, and restoring strength. My name is Dr. Mohit Khera, urologist with over 30 years specializing in men's health, and in the next few minutes, I will reveal exactly what this meat is and how to use it safely and naturally. Stay with me. This could change everything. Before we go any further, if you find value in learning natural, science-based solutions that protect your independence and restore your strength, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another message designed specifically for men over 60. And I would truly appreciate your feedback. Type the number 1 in the comments if you want more content like this, or type 0 if there is something I can do better for you. Now, let's get straight to the reason you're here, because in the next moments, I'm going to show you why prostate enlargement is not an inevitable part of aging, and how one specific meat, when eaten correctly, can begin shrinking the prostate and restoring normal urinary function far faster than most men imagine. Let's begin. 1. The hidden truth about enlarged prostate, BPH. What if I told you that most men suffering from prostate enlargement are being misled, not by choice, but by a system that treats symptoms instead of solving the real problem? What if the surgeries, medications, and sleepless nights that consume so many lives after age 60 are often unnecessary, simply because the truth has been buried beneath years of misunderstanding? The shocking reality is this: an enlarged prostate is not just a normal part of aging. It is not something you are doomed to live with. It is not the punishment of getting older. It is a response, a desperate signal from your body that inflammation has been silently building inside your prostate for years, slowly choking your urinary flow, night after night. Most men believe they are powerless, trapped in an endless cycle of waking up every hour, standing in the bathroom half asleep, begging for a stream that refuses to come. They believe it is their fate to accept pain, pressure, and embarrassment. But the truth goes deeper. What destroys a man is not just the discomfort in his bladder, it is the quiet erosion of dignity. It is the fear of leaving home without knowing where the nearest bathroom is. It is avoiding travel, avoiding social gatherings, avoiding intimacy. It is the loneliness that settles in when a man begins to feel like his body is betraying him. You were never meant to live like that, because prostate enlargement is not simply the result of age, it is the result of chronic inflammation driven by the foods we eat, the stress we carry, and the silent hormonal changes that can be reversed more easily than most men ever realize. When that inflammation is removed, the prostate softens, swelling begins to decline, and the pressure that has been crushing your confidence releases. Relief does not need months. It can begin in hours. And here is where everything changes. There is one specific meat, proven to calm inflammation rapidly and support natural shrinking of the prostate, that almost no doctor ever mentions. It is inexpensive, easy to find, and when prepared the right way, It begins working so quickly that many men feel the difference in the very first day. So now the question becomes, what is this meat, and how does it create such dramatic relief so fast? Stay with me, because once you understand this, everything about your prostate health may change forever. 2. The real reason men over 60 struggle with weak flow and nighttime urination. Here is a truth that almost no one is brave enough to say out loud. Most men are not waking up 3, 4, or even 6 times a night because their bladder is weak. They are waking up because their prostate is crying out for help. The constant urgency, the burning pressure, the weak, hesitant stream that takes forever to start, these are not simply annoyances of aging. They are signs that something deeper is happening, something that has been stealing comfort and dignity from millions of men without them ever understanding why. And the reason is far more painful than most doctors explain. Imagine your prostate like a closed fist wrapped tightly around the urethra, the small tube that carries urine out of your body. When inflammation strikes, that fist tightens, squeezing harder and harder, choking the flow. Your bladder works overtime, straining through the blockage, screaming for relief until it becomes exhausted. That is why you feel like you constantly need to go, even when barely anything comes out. That is why you stand in silence, hunched over the toilet at 2 a.m., waiting for a trickle that feels like forever. And that is why so many men lie awake afterwards, staring at the ceiling, feeling defeated, wondering how their life became controlled by a bathroom schedule. What cuts the deepest is not the physical discomfort, it is the way it slowly tears at a man's identity. The man who once felt strong and capable now feels fragile. The man who once worked tirelessly now feels drained by something as simple as urinating. The man who once led his family with confidence now quietly battles frustration, embarrassment, and fear. Many men stop socializing. Some stop traveling. Some begin to withdraw emotionally from their spouses. Not because they want to, but because they feel trapped inside a body that no longer listens. But there is something you need to hear. The root cause of all these symptoms is not inevitability. It is inflammation within the prostate compressing the urethra like a vice. And when you relieve that inflammation, the fist loosens, flow returns, urgency fades, and nights become peaceful again. This isn't theory, it is biology. And it means that relief can begin much faster than you've ever been told. So how can you calm that inflammation quickly, naturally, and without another prescription? The answer lies in a single nutrient-rich meat that works like a switch inside the prostate, something most men overlook completely, and in just a moment, you'll discover exactly what it is. Stay with me. This is where hope begins to return. 3. The natural solution doctors rarely talk about. What if the most powerful solution for shrinking an enlarged prostate has nothing to do with medication, surgery, or complicated treatment plans? What if it begins with something as simple as what you put on your plate? This may sound unbelievable, but research now shows that food can reduce prostate inflammation more effectively and more safely than many of the drugs men rely on every day. Yet almost no one is talking about it. Most men are handed pills within minutes of describing their symptoms. They are told to be patient, to accept side effects, to wait months and hope something changes. But here is the part that should shake you. In many cases, the body can begin healing itself far faster than that if it is finally given what it needs. For decades, the medical system has treated enlarged prostate as a plumbing problem, forcing the pipe open or slowing down hormone levels, when in reality, it is a fire problem. Inflammation is the fire burning inside the prostate, swelling the gland, tightening the urethra, and destroying sleep and confidence. And no amount of squeezing or hormone blocking will fully solve that until the flames are put out. That is why so many men say their medications work only temporarily, or stop working entirely, or leave them feeling weak, foggy, or disconnected from themselves because the real cause remains untreated. But when you target inflammation directly, something remarkable happens. The swelling softens, the pressure eases, and urinary flow begins to return, often much faster than men expect. I have seen men who struggled for years finally sleep through the night within days of changing their diet. Men who could barely leave the house because of urgency begin taking long walks again. Men who felt broken rediscover energy, confidence, and a sense of control they thought was gone forever. And the most surprising part? The foods that trigger that healing are not exotic, expensive, or difficult. They are simple, natural, and available in every supermarket across America. Foods that have been supporting men's health for generations, long before modern medicine became so dependent on prescriptions. This brings us to the heart of today's message, because there is one specific meat that stands above the rest, known for reducing inflammation rapidly and helping the prostate shrink naturally in a way that medication alone cannot achieve. And when you learn how it works, you may never look at your dinner plate the same way again. In the next section, I will reveal exactly what that meat is, why it works so powerfully, and how you can begin using it to feel relief faster than you ever imagined. Stay with me, because this is where the transformation truly begins. 4. The one meat that can begin shrinking the prostate in 24 hours. What if relief could begin not in weeks, not in months, but within the next 24 hours? What if the exhausting cycle of waking up every hour, forcing out a weak trickle, praying for the moment to end, could finally start to break tomorrow morning? That may sound impossible, especially if you have spent years believing enlarged prostate is something you must simply endure. But science tells a different story, and real men living real lives have already experienced the transformation. Because there is one specific meat, humble and overlooked, that contains a powerful combination of nutrients capable of rapidly reducing inflammation inside the prostate, softening the swollen tissue that has been squeezing your urinary flow like a locked fist. This meat is not rare, it is not expensive, it is not complicated. Yet it holds one of the fastest natural responses ever documented for men struggling with BPH. And the reason it works so quickly is because it attacks the very root of the problem, inflammation. When your prostate is inflamed, it presses hard against the urethra, forcing every bathroom trip into a battle. But when the inflammation decreases, something almost miraculous begins to happen. That pressure loosens, the urethra opens, and urine begins to flow freely again. Men often describe the change as feeling like a blocked highway suddenly clearing, a sense of relief and freedom. They thought they would never feel again. And for many, the improvement is noticeable in the very first day. To understand the power of what happens next, imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you only rose once during the night instead of 5 times. Imagine standing at the toilet and feeling a steady, confident stream instead of struggling, waiting, shaking, and hoping. Imagine the lightness in your chest as you realize you are not broken. Your body is responding, healing, becoming strong again. The emotional shift alone is life-changing, because every man deserves to feel control returning to his life. This one meat contains highly concentrated omega-3 fatty acids, anti-inflammatory compounds, and prostate protective minerals like selenium that act like extinguishers, putting out the fire inside the prostate rapidly and effectively. And when combined with the right preparation and timing, it begins working shockingly fast. So what is this meat, and how should you use it to experience its full effect safely and naturally? In the next section, I will reveal its name, the science behind it, and the exact way to include it in your meals so that relief can begin as soon as tonight. Stay with me. The answer is closer than you think. 5. The meat revealed. Why sardines are a breakthrough for prostate relief. Most men would never believe that something as ordinary as sardines could hold the power to transform their prostate health. In fact, many would walk past them in the grocery store without a second thought, unaware that inside this simple, unassuming food lies one of the fastest natural solutions for shrinking an inflamed prostate. But here is the shocking truth. Sardines contain some of the most potent anti-inflammatory nutrients found in any food source on Earth, and when consumed correctly, they can begin reducing prostate swelling in as little as 24 hours. Not next month, not next year, within a single day. The reason sardines are so uniquely powerful is because they deliver inflammation-fighting omega-3 fatty acids in concentrations far higher than most other meats. These omega-3s act like firefighters, rushing directly to the prostate to calm the internal swelling that has been tightening around your urethra and stealing control of your bladder. They are paired with vitamin D, a nutrient that supports hormone balance and has been linked to lower prostate cancer risk. Then there is selenium, a powerful antioxidant that protects delicate prostate cells from damage and helps restore healthy function. Together, these nutrients create a biological response that no pill alone can fully replicate. They do not mask symptoms, they begin healing the source. I have watched men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who felt trapped by constant nighttime urination finally sleep through the night. After adding sardines to their weekly routine, I remember one patient who had almost lost hope, exhausted by years of sleepless nights and weakening urinary flow. Just 2 to 3 servings of sardines per week, paired with simple dietary adjustments, brought him more relief than months of medication ever had. His voice shook when he told me he had slept 6 hours straight for the first time in years. It was not just physical relief he described, it was freedom, peace, dignity returning. Sardines are also remarkably safe. Because they are small fish, they contain extremely low mercury levels. They are affordable, accessible, and require no complicated preparation. Can opened, drained, and served with vegetables or whole grains can change a man's life more than he ever imagined. But while sardines may be the most rapid response meat for immediate relief, the story does not end here. Because combining this breakthrough with the right eating routine unlocks even greater and longer-lasting improvements. And in the next section, you will learn exactly how to use sardines for maximum prostate shrinking power, step by step. Stay with me. The transformation is just beginning. 6. How to use sardines correctly for maximum prostate shrinking power. Most men never experience the true healing power of sardines. Not because the food is weak, but because they simply don't know how to use it correctly. Here is the shocking truth. Eating sardines the wrong way can limit their effect, but eating them the right way can unlock a level of prostate relief so powerful that many men begin feeling the difference within the very first night. The key is not just what you eat, but how and when you eat it. And once you understand these simple steps, you may never again look at a can of sardines as ordinary. To activate the anti-inflammatory response that helps shrink the prostate rapidly, sardines should be eaten in clean, natural form, packed in water or extra virgin olive oil, never in heavy sauces or soybean oil that trigger inflammation and cancel out their benefits. 2 to 3 servings per week is enough to create a dramatic change, but for men who need fast relief, including a serving in the evening can be especially powerful. At night, when the body rests and repairs tissue, those omega-3s, selenium, and vitamin D go to work like a team of engineers rebuilding the prostate from the inside, softening the swollen tissue and opening the urethra that has been squeezed tight for far too long. Many men report waking up only once instead of 5 or 6 times, and the emotional impact of that first peaceful night is indescribable. Pairing sardines with greens such as spinach, kale, or broccoli, along with whole grains like quinoa or barley, strengthens the healing response by improving circulation and supporting hormone balance. And for those who struggle with the taste, flaking sardines into soups, tomato sauces, or salads can make the process effortless. The goal is consistency, not complexity. You do not need perfection, you just need commitment. Small steps done regularly are what bring transformation. I often tell my patients that the most important ingredient is hope. Because once you feel the first sign of relief, once you wake up realizing the night was not a battle, something changes inside you. You begin to believe again. You begin to see a future not controlled by fear or fatigue, but by freedom and strength. And while sardines may be the fastest-acting natural food for prostate relief, they are not the only one. There is another meat, very different in taste, texture, and purpose, that builds long-term strength and hormonal resilience in a way sardines alone cannot achieve. And when the two are combined, the results can be life-changing. So what is the second most powerful meat for shrinking the prostate and restoring vitality? The answer may surprise you. Stay with me. We're just getting started. 7. The second meat, lean grass-fed beef and its powerful role in prostate recovery. What if I told you that many men are unknowingly weakening their prostate every time they sit down for a meal, not because they are eating meat, but because they are eating the wrong kind? This might shock you, but the problem is not meat itself. The problem is processed, fatty, conventionally raised meat that fuels inflammation and silently worsens prostate swelling day after day. Yet hidden beneath that misunderstanding is a powerful truth that most men never hear. Lean grass-fed beef, when chosen and prepared correctly, can actually help strengthen the prostate, restore hormonal balance, and rebuild the vitality that aging tries to steal. Lean grass-fed beef is radically different from the processed cuts that sit on fast food menus and supermarket shelves. It contains high levels of zinc, one of the most critical minerals for prostate repair and healthy testosterone levels. Zinc is the fuel that keeps the prostate functioning normally, and when levels drop, inflammation rises. Grass-fed beef also provides vitamin B12 and complete proteins that help rebuild tissue and preserve muscle strength, something every man over 60 desperately needs as muscle loss accelerates with age. And unlike conventional beef, grass-fed cuts contain natural omega-3s and conjugated linoleic acid, powerful inflammation fighters that support cardiovascular health and help calm the swelling inside the prostate instead of feeding it. I remember a patient who had begun losing hope. His nights were broken, his energy fading, his confidence slipping away. When we replaced his processed meats with moderate servings of lean grass-fed beef just 2 to 3 times per week, paired with vegetables rich in antioxidants, the changes were remarkable. He described feeling stronger, clearer-minded, and more stable. His nighttime urination dropped, his urinary flow improved, and the fatigue that had weighed on him for years finally began to lift. He told me it felt like getting a piece of his life back that he thought was gone forever. This is the emotional transformation men rarely speak about but deeply feel. The return of control, the return of strength, the return of identity. Because when the body begins to heal, the spirit rises with it. Choosing cuts like sirloin, tenderloin, flank steak, or top round, trimming excess fat, and cooking gently, grilling, roasting, or searing lightly, protects the healing compounds and keeps inflammation low. Small, consistent servings, not excess, create power over time. But lean grass-fed beef is only the beginning. There is another meat, lighter, cleaner, and equally powerful, that works like a precision tool for restoring circulation and boosting urinary performance. Its impact often surprises even the most skeptical men. And in the next section, you will discover exactly what that meat is and why it may become one of the most valuable additions to your weekly routine. Stay with me. The best is still ahead. 8. The third meat, lean whitefish for precision. Prostate healing. What if the key to unlocking stronger urinary flow and peaceful nights isn't found in a pharmacy, but in one of the lightest, cleanest meats on earth, something so gentle that even men with the most sensitive digestion can handle it with ease? Many men assume that only strong medications can create strong results. But the shocking truth is that some of the most powerful healing comes from the quietest sources. Lean whitefish, such as cod, haddock, and light tuna, is one of the most precise tools we have for reducing prostate inflammation and restoring balance within the body. Unlike heavy meats that strain the system, lean whitefish delivers a unique combination of easily absorbed protein, selenium, omega-3s, and vitamin D that works deep inside the prostate, repairing damaged tissue and reversing the swelling that has been suffocating your urinary flow. The protein in white fish acts like scaffolding, rebuilding the structure of prostate cells. Selenium protects those cells from oxidative damage, one of the main drivers of enlargement. Vitamin D regulates the hormonal signals that control prostate growth, and the clean omega-3s help shut down inflammation at its root. Together, they create a level of internal recovery that no processed food can ever match. I think of a patient, a retired school teacher in his late 60s, who was waking up 4 to 5 times every night. He told me he felt like he was watching his life fade away one exhausting night at a time. His diet was heavy, full of foods that left him sluggish. When we replaced just 2 of his weekly red meat dinners with simple baked cod seasoned with herbs and olive oil, something remarkable happened. In just a few weeks, his nighttime trips dropped from 5 to 2. His flow became stronger, steadier. His voice cracked when he told me he finally felt rested for the first time in years. It is not just his story. I have seen this transformation again and again. Men rediscovering confidence. Men remembering what energy feels like. Men realizing they are not doomed to decline, they are capable of healing. Lean white fish is affordable. It is accessible. It cooks in minutes. And when paired with vegetables rich in antioxidants like broccoli or leafy greens, it amplifies its healing power. But we are still not finished, because there is another meat, one that supports circulation and hormonal strength in a way few foods can, a meat that many men overlook, yet holds potential that goes far beyond flavor. In the next section, you will discover this fourth meat and why it may become a turning point in your fight for prostate relief. Stay with me. The breakthrough continues. 9. The fourth meat, turkey breast for circulation and hormonal strength. What if the reason your prostate symptoms refuse to improve has nothing to do with age and everything to do with poor circulation starving the prostate of the blood flow it needs to heal? This may shock you, but without strong circulation, nutrients cannot reach the prostate, inflammation cannot clear, and healing cannot begin. And that is why turkey breast, one of the cleanest and leanest sources of protein available, can be a turning point in restoring both prostate health and overall vitality. Turkey breast is rich in high-quality protein, essential for rebuilding damaged prostate tissue. But even more important is the powerful amino acid arginine found abundantly in turkey. Arginine boosts nitric oxide production, which relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, and increases blood flow to the pelvic region. When blood finally reaches the prostate freely, healing accelerates. Pressure eases. Urinary flow strengthens. Nights become quieter. Energy returns, and a man begins to feel like himself again. Turkey also provides zinc, a critical mineral for testosterone balance. Low zinc leads to hormonal disruption, which fuels inflammation and prostate enlargement. Replenishing it is like giving the prostate oxygen after years of suffocation. I remember a man in his late 60s who sat across from me, tired and discouraged. He told me he felt drained all the time, like his body was fading. He agreed to a simple change: turkey breast 2 to 3 times per week in sandwiches, salads, or warm meals. Within weeks, his urgency reduced, his flow was stronger, and his confidence returned. He told me that for the first time in years, he woke up feeling rested, not defeated. And the most incredible part is how simple it is. Skinless turkey breast, cooked gently without heavy sauces or sugars, becomes a powerful daily tool in the fight against prostate inflammation and hormonal imbalance. But we are not done yet, because there is another meat, unexpected and often misunderstood, that may be the missing piece for fastest long-term prostate shrinking. And the science behind it might surprise you. Stay with me. The next discovery may change everything. 10. The fifth meat, lamb for restoring hormonal balance and deep prostate healing. What if I told you that one of the most powerful natural therapies for an enlarged prostate is a meat most men over 60 have been avoiding for decades, believing it's too fatty, too rich, or too unhealthy? But here's the shock. Lamb, when sourced cleanly and consumed correctly, contains nutrients so deeply restorative that they can help reverse hormonal imbalance, soothe inflammation, and rebuild prostate strength faster than most medications ever could. And most men never hear this truth. Lamb is one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids found in land-based meats. And these omega-3s are scientifically proven to calm inflammation throughout the body, especially in the prostate. Inflammation is the engine that drives enlargement, swelling, nighttime urination, pelvic pressure, and that painful feeling of never fully emptying the bladder. Reduce inflammation, and the prostate finally begins to shrink. Lamb also provides conjugated linoleic acid, known as CLA, which supports healthy metabolism and reduces abdominal fat. Belly fat releases estrogen-like hormones that enlarge the prostate, so reducing it is essential for any man wanting real relief. And perhaps most importantly, lamb contains high levels of vitamin B12 and iron, which restore energy, circulation, and strength. 3 pillars older men desperately need but rarely receive enough of. I once worked with a retired engineer who had nearly given up hope. He felt exhausted, embarrassed by his symptoms, and disconnected from his own body. We added small portions of pasture-raised lamb twice a week. Within a month, he told me something powerful. He felt alive again. His nighttime bathroom trips dropped from 5 times to once, and he said he finally felt in control rather than controlled by his prostate. And if this surprised you, prepare yourself, because the next key may be the most controversial and the most transformative solution men over 60 desperately need to hear. Stay with me. 11. The meat you must avoid immediately. The silent destroyer of the prostate. What if I told you that one of the meats most men eat every single week, sometimes every single day, is silently fueling the inflammation that is making your prostate grow larger, tighter, and more painful? What if the same meat you believe is healthy, lean, and safe is actually one of the biggest triggers behind your constant nighttime urination, weak urine flow, and the embarrassing feeling of never fully emptying your bladder? This is not an exaggeration. This is a painful truth most men never hear until it is too late. I'm talking about processed deli meats. Ham, bacon, sausages, salami, and those neatly packaged sandwich slices that appear so convenient and harmless. They are loaded with sodium, chemical preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, and inflammatory compounds that irritate prostate tissue and cause swelling in the urinary system. Every slice you put into a sandwich, every breakfast strip you fry, is like adding fuel to a fire already burning inside your prostate. These meats stiffen blood vessels, weaken pelvic circulation, and trap inflammation where it hurts the most. I've seen men walk into my office convinced their prostate medication stopped working, only to discover that the true problem was sitting right on their dinner plate. One man, a retired Navy veteran, told me he felt helpless watching his nights stolen by constant bathroom trips. When he removed processed meats, within weeks he experienced relief he thought was impossible. His voice shook as he said, "I thought this was just the beginning of the end. I didn't know something so small could change everything." The hardest part is that many men believe they're choosing protein to stay strong and healthy, yet this hidden danger steals the strength they are trying to preserve. And that's exactly why understanding what to eat and what to avoid can be the difference between suffering and reclaiming your freedom. Because now that you know what meat destroys the prostate, the next question is simple. What is the one powerful final meat that can transform your prostate health faster than anything else? The answer will shock you, and it may become the turning point you never expected. Stay with me. The best is yet to come. 12. The one meat that can change everything. The natural shrinker. What if I told you that the most powerful meat for shrinking an enlarged prostate is not rare, expensive, or difficult to prepare, but something so simple that it has been sitting quietly in grocery stores your entire life, unnoticed, underestimated, and almost forgotten? What if relief from constant nighttime urination, burning discomfort, and the humiliating struggle to start or finish urinating could begin not in months, not in weeks, but within days, simply by adding this one food to your meals? This might sound unbelievable, but many men have already experienced what feels like a miracle. I am talking about wild-caught salmon, rich in omega-3 fatty acids that calm inflammation like water extinguishing a fire, packed with clean protein to repair damaged prostate cells, and full of vitamin D that helps rebalance the hormones that drive prostate swelling. Unlike processed meats that choke blood vessels, salmon opens them, sending fresh circulation into the pelvic region, allowing the prostate to soften, relax, and finally shrink. Men who felt hopeless, angry, and embarrassed tell me they felt change so real that they cried, not from pain, but from relief. Because what every man over 60 deserves is not another night staring at the ceiling, waiting for the next bathroom trip. What he deserves is rest, dignity, confidence, and control. Healing is possible. Life can return. Your strength can return. And it all begins with a choice you can make today. If you found hope in this message, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. And remember, your future is not defined by your symptoms, but by the decisions you make now. You are not alone. You are stronger than you think. And the best chapters of your life are still ahead.